Somebody stopped by and asked me to talk about a video from ReviewTechUSA saying something along the lines of, well, he just doesn't get it. And he said, my take on The Last of Us 2 being review bombed, and I was going to do a separate upload talking about that like I promised. Okay, as far as Rich's video goes, here's the first lie he tells in this. He says, I don't have 20 plus hours to play the game. But then he says, I'll play it for about 12 to 15 hours. Okay, this is why this is a lie. Rich is unemployed. He's an unemployed YouTuber, all right? Unlike people like me and probably most of you, we actually have day jobs we have to go to. Now, just think about Rich in a way like being on a permanent vacation, okay? Unless you consider him talking about news articles and gaming stuff to be work, all right? A lot of people do, surprisingly. The difference is 5 hours. He says he doesn't have 20 hours to play the game, right? Over 20 hours, but he has 15 hours. Imagine that, all right? Rich, what are you doing for 5 hours? What are you doing important for 5 hours to where you don't have the time? So that's a lie right there. He says, then he's going to give his spicy take on it. Spicy take? Okay, here's the thing. I don't know if quartering started it, but it needs to fucking die a death. Spicy. No, we don't need this to become a fucking thing, all right? So, ReviewTechUSA probably goes to watch the quartering. Maybe they just bounce off each other. I'm not sure what it is, right? Maybe just copy-paste the quarterings videos. I'm not sure. I showed the Metacritic score, and I think it's lower than 3.5 now on the user, and the critic score is still the same 94 reviews. Imagine that. It's still at 94. It's still only 94 critical reviews from, the real critics and everything. And that's at 95. And he talks about how there's a big divide and how people are review bombing it. Well, I do agree with that. Okay. There's no way that in a couple hours of the user review scores being available and the game being released, you haven't played the whole game in a couple hours. So there are a lot of people that did give it a 0. Okay? But here's another thing you need to look at. A lot of these people giving the game a 0 actually have witnessed the game, a playthrough of the story, and they're probably grading it because of the story. You get that? Okay? And you say that makes the gaming community look bad. People review bombing, the Metacritic, the user section, makes the gaming community look bad. Not the IGN review, the 10 out of 10. Not all the media that got the review copy early. Special privileges from Sony. Those people giving it those fraudulent 10 out of 10s, it ain't no 10 out of fucking 10, I'll tell you that much, just from the story alone. In a story-driven game, I can guarantee goddamn to you that. Those people giving it those 10 out of 10s that got it early, those people that, let's be honest here, in all likelihood, want to make sure that they still have a cozy relationship with Sony, and they still keep getting those early review copies. But let's go back to the 0s out of 10. All those 0s out of 10. Mingled with, some 4s, some 5s. I've seen a lot of good user reviews now that it's been out for a little bit and people have actually played through the full game. You got to look at this, man. If there's a lot of people that are chomping at the bit to give that game a 0 out of 10, there's a lot of people that are going to do that. Then we got issues. We got problems. Let's not just fucking pretend there's a hate mob. You try to say that there's a hate mob, the go woke, go broke hate mob that are just stopping by because they're anti-SJW. Okay? They're there because Neil Druckmann, Naughty Dog, made many decisions, many terrible decisions for that story. Basically, literally, spit in the fucking face of Joel. Do I need to reiterate what happens to him in the story? Do I need to go into a lot of the stupid fucking decisions they make in the story? No, I don't, because I already have a rant, and I'll leave a link to that rant at the end of this. But the person that commented, Rich just doesn't get it. You're exactly right. He just doesn't get it. By saying that the people review bombing that is making the gaming community look bad. As if you're a fucking gatekeeper for the gaming community. You motherfucker. You e-begging motherfucker. You hypocritical motherfucker. You spineless, e-begging, hypocritical motherfucker. You are not the gatekeeper for any gaming community. Okay, you ain't that guy. You ain't that guy. And Neil Druckmann is a person, anyone responsible for writing this bullshit story. Good. You don't get it. No. It's people like you that make the gaming community look bad here on YouTube. And it's people like Naughty Dog who made their own fucking series and Sony look bad with their bullshit. Even setting aside all the SJW stuff. And that game is packed chock full of SJW stuff. Okay, dripping wet with it. It's not about that. It's about what they did to Joel. It's about the choices they made in that story. It's about how the story goes out of its way to make you feel fucking terrible. Terrible for even playing the game. No other game before, I think, has went out of its way, especially no AAA game, to make you feel terrible and to just jab that knife in and twist it to make you feel terrible about even paying for the game, for even playing the game. No, it's the decisions they made, all right? They spit in the face of the first Last of Us. That's what makes gaming look bad.